I'm very excited about being with you today, and my apologies for running a little bit behind with the setup. I got here at 12 o'clock, but then didn't factor in the amount of time I was to set things up. So thank you for lending some of your time to me today. I am Nisan Trotter. I'm the co-owner and co-founder, head trainer of Trotter Fitness Fit Body Bootcamp. We are just a stone's throw away, right down the road in Lewisburg. We have even several clients right here from this area in Milton, and we absolutely love what we do. When I say we, I'm speaking of my beautiful wife of going on 7 years. We also have a team of 7, and my lead assistant, our trainers, they're all phenomenal. And we've actually been operating in the space of boot camp fitness now going on 5 years. And it's been a whole lot of fun. We also have a location in Williamsport, PA, and we receive national acclaim for what we do, even in little bitty old Lewisburg. We're operating out of a ranch house, a farmhouse renovated into a boot camp, and it's so interesting, so cool when trainers and other individuals in our industry come to visit our studio, and they've heard about what we do from all over, literally. They say, so this is the place, this is it? And I'm like, yeah, this is it. We're operating out of a renovated farmhouse, and we absolutely love it. I was the personal trainer of the year in 2015, and I've also had the chance to speak on some of the largest stages when it comes to fitness and also motivation. I do motivational speaking as well. So what I'm going to do today is make two worlds kind of collide. One world will be talking about your own personal development and self-help. What industries across different mediums are understanding and realizing is that when they help their employees, or even as employers, as they grow in personal development, self-help material, that the productivity increases, the camaraderie among teams increase. And so we're going to talk about how to de-stress, number one, and then I'm going to also share with you and give you insight into what we do at Trotter Fitness as well, just in case any of you are curious about that and came solely for that. I will certainly whet your appetite for that as well. Okay, so have you ever said this before? I know that I have, and in fact, I know that you have said this before as well. Oh, I just can't wait to grow up. I cannot wait to be an adult. I can't wait to have my own home. I can't wait to get my career started and for someone to hire me so that I can make the big bucks. I can't wait to start a family. Oh, I just can't wait. Who finds themselves guilty at least of saying that? I know that I've said it before. And then what happens whenever these things come in our life, when we say, oh, I just can't wait, and we reach the place of adulthood, this is what we then say. What was I thinking? What in the world was I thinking? Because now I have bills up to my neck. Now I just want to wear the t-shirt, I can't adult today. These are the things that we struggle with, especially me, myself, and I, because I have a 2-year-old, I also have a 4-month-old, and literally before coming here, I had to change a dirty diaper. I should be wearing green pea cologne right now as the fragrance, just because it just seems so stressful in this particular junction of my life. Owning a couple of businesses, doing motivational speaking, having a couple of children, being married, and also being a leader in my church. It just seems that there's stress on every side. And I know that many of you can relate to this. The reason why I know this is because I did some research, and WebMD adult stress stats say this, that 30% of you, that's 1 out of every 3 in this room right now, you're operating in extreme stress right now. 1 in 3. You can just blink your eye at me if I'm talking to you. And also, nearly 1 out of 5 reach their highest stress levels, hear me closely, at least 15 or more days out of the month. So it's very even challenging for you, even when the sun is out around this time of year in April, May, June, and July. Still about 15 plus days, 1 out of 5 of you, or about 20% of you, have reached your highest stress levels about 15 or so of those days in a month. And then almost 48% of you, at least half of you in this room, listen to this, say that your stress levels have continued to increase over the past 5 years. So gone are the days, the old adage, as we get older, things perhaps get better. I don't mean to come and bear bad news, but because of this one stat alone, 50% of you can testify right now that your stress level has gone up over the past 5 years. That's pretty deep. That's pretty difficult to deal with. It's so difficult to deal with nowadays that most adults even say this, that stress is normal and a natural part of life. And while that may be somewhat true, especially as it impacts our personal life, as it impacts our sleep, as it impacts how we operate on our jobs, I think what is probably more becoming of us and what will behoove us in this moment in time is to think about how in the world we deal with stress. How do we manage it? How do we cope? How do we continue to be a functioning, contributing adult in society when we're changing dirty diapers on the fly, when our cars may be cluttered with junk and we can't seem to find our keys when we're leaving because we're busy? How do we deal with this? And so before we delve into that, I want to talk about the impact. Because what is the impact of stress? Stress really bothers us from head to toe. Stress affects our sleep. It gives us headaches. Stress also can cause heart attacks, which is terrible to think about. Stress can cause lower back pain. Stress can cause a liver that doesn't function properly. Stress can even cause you, and I don't mean to be nasty, but it can even mess up your digestive system. I mean, you can be so stressed out, you want to go to the bathroom and sit on the can, but because you're so stressed out, it's not happening, honey. That is how impactful stress can be. Stress can cause pain to the feet, your mobility, and just your sheer happiness in here. How many of you will forego being happy? Nobody, right? All of us wants to at least be happy and enjoy life. So, how can we practically, quote unquote, de-stress? That's the question that we have to address. And thankfully, I've done a significant amount of work in this space because I know for myself, I needed to de-stress. And as I grow older, I hope that you can relate to this, you want to be enjoying life more. You want your quality of life to continue to go up as your years go up. And so this is very pertinent. This is very important for us to address. I know this one thing, if nothing else. Whenever you're feeling stressed out and uptight, I want everybody to do this with me. Take a deep breath on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And breathe, let it go. Right there. Something just happened to your blood pressure level right there. Your stress levels went down. So whenever you're feeling uptight, stressed out, if you don't remember anything else from this presentation, remember this. Just breathe. Breathe. That's the one thing you would want to do, by the way, if someone was holding you down, your head down, that is, underwater, and you couldn't breathe, and you were gasping for air. The one thing that you would want to do is take a breath. And so it's vital for life. Another thing when it comes to learning how to de-stress is we also must think about how to engage our mind in positive thinking. To really do what is called theatrics of the mind, the author of Psycho-Cybernetics. I would recommend that book to anybody. Maxwell Maltz. He talks about the theatrics of the mind and how important it is to think positive. And really the things that you think about, you can then manufacture and see those things in reality. That's how we de-stress. And then preparation equals progress. I don't mean to inundate you with basketball jargon and especially if you aren't into sports, but there's a gentleman by the name of Steph Curry. He played in the NBA Finals this year, and he was the three-point king. He shot the ball from long distance and would make them more than he would perhaps miss them or make them more than most. And what he would do in order to be at his level of success is he would just practice his shot.
mastering the mundane over and over again, all right, really preparing, because when we prepare, we're not as stressed. Preparation equals progress. Now, it may have looked like I was a little bit stressed coming into this presentation because I had to get set up, but in terms of the content itself, I'm laid back, I'm chill, because I prepared. And I've been speaking for a long time now, and this is just what I do. All right, another thing, watch a movie just to escape from reality every now and then. I mean, that's just so important for you to watch movies, especially your favorite movie that would make you laugh. Also, hanging around those who are upbeat and jolly. You need to get rid of negative Nancy, perhaps in your space, who's causing you to stress out, who's, don't just look straight at me, just look straight at me. The person who may be dumping that stress onto you or their stresses onto you, it may be important for you to perhaps find a way to eliminate them out of your life, or at least stop spending so much time with them. If you find yourself just being stressed out whenever operating in that person's space, then maybe perhaps it's good for you to practically think about how to de-stress. Also, taking a walk is so vital. It may seem simple, but it's powerful. Walking gives the body the sense of progression. So what happens when we stress out, by the way, is our body tightens up, our blood pressure goes up, and it almost seems as if life stops for us. I mean, we're standing still, because the only thing we can focus about is that problem, that issue that we're stressed out about. But if we walk and put one foot in front of the other, that's going to help us de-stress. And that link, by the way, I was going to have y'all get up and dance. That was my happy song link. The happy song is a very popular song, because I'm happy. You know that song, right? All right. I love that song because it encourages us to dance. It encourages us to move. What I find is that as we become, and I'm not talking about anybody in this room, I'm talking about people outside of this room. As folks become cranky adults, they no longer dance. They no longer smile. It's tough to even get a smile out you right now. You're so tight-faced. Relax a little bit. It's going to be all right. All right, dancing is an important part of life. I believe I love the words of Vivian Green. She said, essentially, life is not worth waiting for the storms to pass. It's about learning how to dance in the rain. And so even when it's difficult and challenging and life just seems to be offering hardships after hardships, the people who make it and really excel at a super duper high place in life, they learn how to dance in the face of adversity. The fact that you're still alive and you're still breathing, that's evidence that you still have a chance to make it. Does that make sense to you in here? All right, good. All right, and declutter. Boy, I'm talking to myself right now. In terms of our rooms, in terms of our closets. Some of you ladies, I'm sorry to ring on your doorbell, but here's where you need to start. Your shoe bin. Oh. Yes. I've been troubled out. John, I hope you invite me back. Your shoe bin is so cluttered. You have shoes from 1991 and you forgot that you even had them. So how about just making spaces clean? Because what typically happens, and I was listening to a business coach of mine, and he's Middle Eastern, he's very successful, multi-millionaire. And his father gave him this piece of advice, and he was thinking to himself, you know what, my father is on to something here. And they moved from the Middle East over here and made a living for themselves and became very successful. He said, son, whenever you're interviewing people, because his son is in a position of power and can interview people, he said, I want you to either tell your assistant or come up with a reason why you should go outside and look into that person's car that you're interviewing. If that person's car is cluttered up and filled with junk, then that means that their mind is cluttered up and filled with junk. They're probably not going to be a good employee. Wow. That's taking it another level, right? I'll just move on from there. Okay, now, for me, I know prayer is so important. It's an essential ingredient of my life to really be able to connect with God when things are difficult, when things are challenging. I like to just get on my knees and just pray because I know that there's a higher source that I'm connected to. I want you to also just take your mind off the things stressing you out. It can be that simple. Whatever it is, as difficult as it may be, take your mind off that thing. Give it a break, because nothing's going to happen that's going to make it any better as you continue to think about it. Also, reading books and singing along to music. That is something that we perhaps could engage in right now, even if you can't carry a tune. I mean, just singing and turning on a tune, your favorite radio station, whatever it is, and making sure that you are singing. I love it. Happy people sing. Also, here's another big one, just unplugging. Some of you, it's difficult right now because you like to screen suck. What I mean by screen suck is your cell phone. I hate to admit it, but sometimes I can be a screen sucker as well. Because I'm always on Facebook, I'm always on Twitter, I'm always checking my email account, I'm always surfing the web, and these things cause us to not have the ability to just de-stress. And then finally, sleeping 7 to 8 hours. I mean, that's really important as well. These are things we can practically do to de-stress. But what I also want us to focus on is a couple of things that we should not do. There are 6 do nots when it comes to stressing. Everybody say do not.
Do not.
There you go. Good. I love the interactive group right here. Y'all are all in. Listen, do not keep complaining. When you're stressing, complaining has a percentage stack attached to it. 80% of the people don't care that you complain. And the other 20% of the people, they're glad it's you. Yeah. So it's the 80-20 rule when it comes to complaining about your stresses and about your issues. Now, don't get me wrong. You do need to have an outlet. You do need to have somebody that you can partner with to just share your burdens, because I believe life calls us to share in the burdens of each other. And that's okay. But when you find yourself complaining all the time, you know what I had to do? I had to put myself through a complaint test. And every time I found myself complaining, I would just pull out this piece of paper out of my pocket and just write it down and try to tally up by the end of the day how many times I complained. Okay, if you find yourself doing the exercise that I just described to you, and you're complaining upwards of 20, 25 times, 30 times a day, I want you to build yourself a bridge and get over it. All right? Yeah, it's time for you to eliminate so much complaining. And then you do not want to embrace the victim mentality. The victim mentality is always woe is me, right? The victim mentality says, I find myself stuck in traffic when you really could have took another route. The victim mentality says, why me, when maybe it was your work ethic that was the problem. That's the reason why you didn't get that promotion, or the reason why you didn't advance. Victim mentality. Instead of the victim mentality, we need to replace that with the victor mentality. Did you know that you're more than conquerors? I hope that you know that. The reason why I know this is because I have a 2-year-old son. And then I also have a 4-month-old son. And it just boggled my mind how from New York City all the way to Lewisburg, my 4-month-old son, he was weeping and wailing and screaming out loud almost for 2 straight hours because he was fighting. He was letting us know, Mama, Daddy, I'm hungry. You better feed me. And so instinctually, since we were born, we were always created with some type of survival mechanism. Some of you, well, many of you, all of you, in fact, you deserve a Nobel Peace Prize. You deserve a parade thrown in your own name. You deserve a gold medallion. You don't even have to enter into the Olympics. Just because you're still alive, just because of some of the hardships and the drama that you've been through, to conduct the seats that you have right now, it proves to me, it shows me that you're a victor. Raise your hand if you feel victorious right now. There you go. Good, that's what I'm talking about. Do not talk to Debbie Downer. We'll just go ahead and skip right over that one. Do not keep thinking about the problems. You know what those who are very good at de-stressing do? They become solution-oriented. You know, it does you no good. I want you to think about the irony of this situation. It's what I call the flat tire incident. It's what people do who have a flat tire, and they are, instead of the victor, they're the victim. They get the flat tire driving along the road, and then they can no longer pass to their destination. And so they weep and they wail, and they stop moving. They stop progressing. The person with the victor mentality, rather than focusing on that issue, the reason why they're victorious is because they get the flat tire, but they also understand, well, I got a spare tire in the back. And so I can change this tire and keep moving because I'm so solution-oriented. All right? Next one. Don't do drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, and things that numb the senses. Because once you wake up from that, your problem is going to be waiting on you. It's so important for you to not turn to those things whenever you're stressed out. Even though Hollywood and the movies have done a great job in making it look and appear that when the next top model on Hollywood is in stress, they turn to that bottle and suck it dry. That actually is not reality. That is not helping, but probably aiding and abetting in that issue. Do not turn to unhealthy amounts of food for relief. Stress eating. And if you find yourself, when it's difficult, when it's challenging, when it's tough for you to move forward, the fork and the spoon and chocolate seem to know you not just by your first and your last name, but your middle one too. And that's probably an indication that you're a stress eater. All right, and then we want to try to eliminate those things in order to move forward. So I want to talk about ways by which we can detox, because we got the first D down. I'm giving you ingredients that you can cook up so that you know how to de-stress. But then we got to talk about this word detox, right? It's kind of fancy in the fitness industry especially. And food marketers have especially used this word to leverage you buying their things. And now, in order to detox, I got to be on the 30-day mung bean and a rice diet. True story. I had a client who was sitting before me and he said, Nisan, I lost 14 pounds and it's amazing. I've been doing this mung bean and rice diet. And I said, well, no wonder you lost 14 pounds. What is a mung bean? I don't even know what that is. And so, in order to detox nowadays, you got to drink spinach 7 times a day. In a blender, and maybe it's not appeasing to our appetite, but because it says the word detox, you've been tricked into purchasing those products. But what I want to help you with is first show you what the ultimate detox would look like. And this is actually where I would play a quick short clip on Trot Fitness to show you what we do, the training that we do. But perhaps it's better to leave that to the imagination. All right, for you to think. The ultimate detox really is you training, you exercise, you moving. Because sweating actually eliminates and excretes all types of chemicals, harmful substances from your body, acids from your body, lead from your body. I believe the stat that was by the Children's Hospital of East Ontario, the Research Institute, showed that there were 24 studies done that proved that sweating actually and moving eliminated all different types of toxins from your body. So really the ultimate detox is for you to sweat. All right, the next thing is there's an 80-20 rule that I like to use in terms of healthy eating. It's not the 80-20 complaining rule, by the way. I know what you're thinking. The 80-20 rule would suggest 80% of the times you're eating the things that you should. The other 20% of the time, eat the things that you enjoy. When you're being active, when you're exercise focused, you can really essentially follow the 80-20 rule. That 20% right there is important. The reason why it's important is because it gives yourself an opportunity to be human. I know that perhaps what's in your refrigerator is nothing but healthy, low-fat, low-calorie items. But for those of you who are like me and you need that 20% in order to make it through, maybe it's the cheeseburger, maybe it's the fries, maybe it's even the pizza, then this is especially for you. All right, I want to sort of give you your snapshot of what your day can essentially look like. Because most people essentially come to me and they say, well, Nisan, I appreciate all the philosophies that I see in the tabloids, but can you just tell me what to eat? Just tell me what to eat, and I'm good. So this is what your day should look like. If you want to follow the 80-20 lean eating fat loss plan that I'm going to give you right off the top of my head, write this down. For breakfast, you can have turkey bacon with eggs. Or if you don't like eggs, you don't like turkey bacon, you can do oatmeal with a 4th cup of fruit. Put some peanut butter in there to make it just a tad bit sweeter and add it up and increase the protein. Or you can do an omelet with some spinach. Or how about a protein shake? That's your breakfast. And then, let's say mid-morning around 10 a.m. because I believe that you should eat about 5 to 6 times a day to keep your metabolism high. At about, let's say, 10 a.m., you want to get you a snack in there to keep your metabolism revved up. Metabolism is the rate at which your body burns calories. So then you want to perhaps eat some nuts, like almonds. And then let's say at 12 p.m., let's do a grilled chicken salad. Or if you just need to have some carbs, how about an open-faced turkey burger? Let's at least take one bun off the top to eliminate so many carbs, which processes into fat, okay? And then which breaks down into sugar, and then it adds the calories to your body. And then let's just say at 2 p.m. now. We're at the 2 p.m. time. How about some hummus with some carrots? Or something of that nature. A protein shake, Greek yogurt with strawberries. That's protein and content. And then let's say at 6 p.m., 7 p.m., you're doing steak and veggies. Salmon and asparagus. I hope y'all ate before coming in here. Because I'm just realizing now I'm ready to eat myself. That's 80% of the time what the things that you should be eating. Now I just gave you about 5 meals. Well, actually, I gave you 5 times to eat. I probably gave you something upwards of 15 to 16 different meals. That's your plan right there. The other 20% of the time, you can eat the things you enjoy. But now let's do the math to really be technical and break this down. I want you to follow me here. So if you're eating 5 times a day, 7 days a week, how many meals is that? 35, good. So if we take 20% of 35, then that's 7. So you have essentially 7 quote-unquote cheat meals or cheat items. I don't necessarily like to use the word cheat because it makes it seem like you're doing something wrong. It's okay to desire carbs, but whenever you engage in that 20%, that's okay because you're psychologically giving your mind a chance to be human so that you can get back on your healthy eating plan. That right there, my friend, is a healthy eating 80-20 rule. That is that shit. Let's keep moving. We're almost there. And then we have 10. I provided my top 10 bodyweight exercises for you to do in a 3x5 space. That way you can do this at your home. And I tell you what I'll do. If there's pens available, I'll make sure that I send you that via email. And just giving it to you on the house. I came up with just a workout routine that you can do, body weight style exercises. All you have to do is include your email on that and your name as well, and I'll get that to you. I'll also see if my assistant will get you my, because I know especially for females, one of the areas where they want to see the greatest progress is the belly fat area. So I'm also going to give everyone for free here my Inferno Core workout. I'm glad I'm recording this so that I can give myself a reminder then. Okay. All right. Yeah, so just make sure to put your name, email address. I'll make sure my assistant gets that to you as soon as possible. And so just know that there's 10 bodyweight exercises, and this is basically your workout routine. To do 2 to 3 sets of those exercise moves, 30 seconds on with a 10-second break. I demonstrate exactly how to do them. It takes the guesswork out of it. That's your detox plan. And then detox, also you want to detox from negative people and negative places. And in conclusion, what I want to provide to you as well is I'm giving myself a reminder via video. I'm going to hook everyone here up with my 52 weekly motivational self-improvement NisanRPM videos, absolutely free. So you'll get those to your email inbox. I've done significant work in the self-help space, especially as it comes to how to overcome your fears, how to eliminate the word can't from your vocabulary, how to reinvent yourself. I'm talking about tons of content, professional videos done by my videographer, high definition videos. I'll also get that to you as well. Just make sure that you put your email address in that. And then I love to come with a giving hand. I feel like I should say, but wait, there's more. We are pretty much at full capacity with boot camp, but I want to make sure as well to give everyone who's here today, I'm going to do my 14-day Fat Furnish program with you, where you'll get 14 days of boot camp, unlimited in the program. You'll have a chance to work with our team. They're all certified personal trainers. You'll get unlimited support and motivation and our easy-to-follow food guide. And that will only be for $14. So I'm discounting the heck out of that, just so that you can see what this is all about. I hope that I met your request there, John.
I think so.
Okay. He said, make sure you come and give something away. Yeah, I know. My sister was like, this guy, John, he's pretty straightforward. So I hope that met your demand.
That's the British for you.
All right, and then finally, I will finish with this because I'm trying to give you really the 3 Ds that I consider to help anyone be successful. Number 1, de-stressing. Number 2, detoxing. And then finally, my last bullet right there would be dream catching. I remember this story, or actually my father told me this story after I had forgot about it. I was in Pensacola, Florida with my father about a summer or 2 ago. And he said to me, as a little boy, he said, Nisan, do you remember when you were sitting in front of a group of guys, and you were younger, probably about 5 years old, and I asked you in front of them, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, nah, Pops, I don't recall this. I don't remember this story at all. After all, I was only 5 years old. He said, you don't remember that story, son? I said, no, I can't recall. Won't you tell it to me, Dad? And he said, Nisan, you stood in front of everybody, my homeboys at the time, and you said, when we asked you, what do you want to be when you grow up? You didn't say, I want to be an NBA basketball star. Nisan, you didn't even say, I want to be a fireman. You didn't say, I want to be the next president. You looked at everybody in that circle, and when asked the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? You said, I want to be great one day. And at 5 years old, what was happening, unbeknownst to me, is I was speaking something out of my mouth. I had a vision, even at a young age, that I was sharing from my heart. And if you're ever looking for the place where you can begin to chase after your dreams, your ambitions, your goals, your vision, God put it in a place so that you wouldn't misplace it. He placed it in your heart. And so when you're able to speak from your heart what it is that you want to accomplish, because I believe in this, whatever you speak can turn into a reality for you. I believe it. I really do believe it. It sets things in motion. It's the first priority that you need to establish if ever you decide to become a dreamer. I believe this, and I know it to be true. I can remember, maybe it was about a year or so ago now. Well, scratch that, it's about 2 years ago. I was sitting in the front at this huge fitness conference. I didn't even realize what it was all about. I was just thankful that I got invited to be in the party. And so there was about 1,000 or so people there. And then I noticed that they were handing out the Personal Trainer of the Year award. And not only that, I had the chance to listen to some of the nation's top speakers from across the globe. And I was thinking to myself, as I was sitting on the side, as I was allowing my mind to even daydream, I began to say to myself, as they presented their award to the Personal Trainer of the Year, as I listened to the speakers, I said to myself, you know what? One day I'm going to be holding up that award. Not only that, I believe that I'll be speaking from stage. And that same exact thing that I shared with you happened 1 year later. And then I said this, because we were, especially about simple means in our fitness business at the time. I said, at some point, not only am I going to be here because we were a fitness business on a budget, I said, my wife is going to be able to fly out with me. And we're going to be able to enjoy this conference together. And so now when I reflect back over what has happened, what has took place, especially as my wife, because I was in the running with a guy from Canada. I was also in the running with, I think, a lady from Tulsa, Oklahoma. And then when they recorded what was happening, my wife actually, that is, I heard, yeah, yeah, baby, yeah. What she was saying to me in so many uncertain terms is, Nisan, I knew you were the Personal Trainer of the Year even before they handed you the award. And so when it comes to chasing your dreams, you got to first start with your mouth. And if you can start to say things that you believe from your heart, I wish that that's all it took, but then you have to start to put things in action. And you'll see through my videos about the 3 Ds to dream catching. Number 1 is you got to dream. Number 2 is you got to do. And the third and final thing is you got to set a deadline. And believe those things will happen for you. I'm looking at a group of dreamers right now. And I am just crazy enough to believe that no matter how old you are, no matter what you've been through in life, that you have a supernatural power in you to accelerate and excel. So that's my time. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I don't know if I should open it up for questions or if they got to get off to work. So
Any questions, anyone? There weren't quite enough of the email sign-up sheets.
Okay.
Do you care if we just email you that we were in this?
Absolutely. You can take my information out if you can see that. In fact, I have some cards as well.
Okay.
So